From its starting minutes, Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door whooshes in as this fantastical storybook adventure. These magical notes flirt with you and lull you into its atmosphere as you inch towards the book and flip through its pages, setting up the scale of this adventure sprawling out of a 1,000-year legend as the leitmotif hits its crescendo. These archaic drawings evoke a sense of intrigue and adventure as you're teased with the potential of a treasure that is as old as a millennium. That little vibe of mysterious treasure hunting is just one half of this game's neat little duality of presentation. The visual and sound design really make the game's audio-visual texture delectable, which is further enhanced by the recent remake in my opinion. All the seams and folds of paper are crafted intricately to make a beautifully colorful world that is unique and gives a lovely feel of expression to its setting and characters. Petal Meadow's vibrant green fields dotted with a rainbow of flowers, the cozy Petalburg situated neatly in the middle, evoking comfort within it through its mentally vacant villagers and the sound of water flowing through. Bogley Woods is a dream of a setting, white flowers being kicked up into the air as Mario strolls through. Twilight Town is draped in a hard shadow caused by the gorgeous orange of its perpetual dusk. Keelhaul Key's tangled greenery with a ray of sunlight so blinding it comes with a chromatic aberration. This level of visual presentation even extends to its characters. They are probably some of the most characterized characters in Mario, to the point even their character designs tell their stories. Goombella's explorer helmet and tied-up ponytails speak of her adventurousness and spunk. Koops' banged-up exterior and slumped posture betrays his underdog status. When Madame Flurry only reveals herself in her bosom to the world after being reunited with her necklace, to a disco ball dropping, you know how concerned with being theatrical she is. Your Yoshi partner has a furrowed, determined brow, flexed hands, and a cocky smirk which humorously contrasts with his short and newborn physicality. He's like if Hasbulla was actually really about it. Vivian is fashionable with her feminine pink hair and red cap, but has a kinder smile compared to her sisters, and her cap shades her eyes, suggesting a reservedness and underlying anxiety. Bobbery's ruffled graying stash and worn and torn sailor outfit shows a man who has been weathered by life and the seas. However, despite the vibrancy of this game, this world of characters is a lot more rough around the edges compared to most other Mario titles. Worldport is a den of no do-gooding. You get mugged, an old toad accosts you, people tell you to watch it, wise guy, see, nah. You see Mob Piana's whack a guy, there's a dang noose in the middle of town. NPCs range from cantankerous to aloof, with always a slight edge to the way they talk. The 1,000-Year Door is pretty much always playing around with this irony that it's a Mario game and an RPG game. There's a self-awareness imbued into the writing of this game that is delightful. Rogueport being a seedy town where regular Mario archons like Goombas and Piantas are depicted as underworld thugs is inherently hilarious. Like, what do you mean you're a wanted criminal, Mick Goomba? This subversion of Mario is obviously meant as a consistent comedy device, but I also think it's a bit more thoughtful than that. The 1,000-Year Door has some of the most murky vibes of the franchise. I'm not saying it's a dang horror game, but there is an uncanniness felt going lower into Rogueport sewers, where the light grows dimmer with each level. The beautiful rays of light that shine down on sub-level 1 disappear as you come across the towering, foreboding 1,000-Year Door. Its room more dulled of color, missing the popping palette of Petalburg or Bogley Woods, etc. Broken pillars its only company. These are what remains of a long-dead civilization, something that was especially felt by baby me who is scared by Scooby-Doo. These little bits of environmental storytelling come up here and there throughout the game, like Chapter 3 is fantastic at building intrigue and tension. On the surface, the Glitz Pit feels like a place of glory and glamour, plenty of commodities surrounding the pit. Heck, even being a fighter is advertised to you this way by Grubba, but behind the scenes are these dark, pragmatic hallways guarded by clones of the Da Vinci twins on steroids. He conveniently shows him all the glamorous stuff, the Major League locker room and the ritzy champion room, but leaves out the totally banged up, neglected minor league locker rooms and manipulates your fighting style for the sake of being showy to the audience. The authenticity of this place is questioned by these things, plus the underlying intrigue that bubbles underneath throughout the chapter by X's text. Rockhawk's underhandedness, the spiriting way of athletes, all the scary tales woven about the place from Bandy Andy, which is short for Banjo Andrew. It just gnaws at you until you find the man with the most power and control is the true culprit. Someone who chews up ragtag fighters trying to make it and spits them out for his own nourishment. In chapter 4, when I climbed the stairs to Duplus's room, I did so on the back of my trusty Yoshi. When I climbed back down, I was alone, the blue tint of the spiral staircase even more glaring. Like Vivian at this moment, you feel the pain of rejection, of isolation, having your identity displaced, but find hope again through the mutual acts of kindness given to each other. Grubba and Duplus are these selfish antagonists that prey on others for power or entertainment, which is to be expected of villains of a Mario game. Selfishness, right? But this also extends beyond just the antagonists. This is the thing that made this game the bizarre child of Mario, is that the people of this game are abundantly selfish. It's all over the game, apparent when trying to progress through it, having to do favors or beat someone up just to take a walk to a 7-Eleven. ZT blocks you from going to West Redport because you stepped on our contact lens, something that is a bit unreasonable to hold someone to. Mario gets dragged into a mafia family drama because Don Pianta doesn't want to let his daughter and underboss just up and leave, but they leave without really considering talking to him and considering how he feels, just absorbed in their little romance. If you do Bulb Olber's request, he asks you to go all the way to Glitzville from Petalborg for hot dog. You want another hot dog? I will beat your ass. Even the upgrades given to you are intended to be impediments, cursing you to eternity. There's the tumultuous livelihood of this Toad family within Rogueport, a struggling author dad, a gambling addict mom, a kid that can't even bear to stay in that house for too long, then a kid afraid to go outside at all. All of them with their own problems that exacerbate each other's issues due to them being wrapped up within their own. Inside the Excess Express are all people who are self-absorbed in themselves, impatiently taking food for themselves instead of taking Ozempic, using the expense account of their company at any given moment. That's kind of respectable though. I got you, bro. A father Bob-omb and mother arguing over what to give their kid without even considering what he really wants. Pennington's detective hobby is more obtrusive than it is helpful. You spend pretty much the entirety of what is supposed to be a pleasant, comfy train ride fixing their troubles. Then again, there's this beauty to the Excess Express. To me, the beauty of Chapter 6 is the way it communicates the beauty of the various points in a day throughout the way the light reflects through the Excess Express. The orange glow of evening tinges the corridors and the blue night sky sparkles with golden stars moving in the windows of the dining car, with the soft light of white lamps providing only a light glow. The Excess Express almost feels like an art piece that is overshadowed by its self-absorbed occupants. It's very interesting that the location of the crystal star of this chapter is located inside a painting. Heck, even later, Gold Bob and Silvio also contemplate during the Bowser intermission if the rich are trying too hard to define art by ill-gotten coin, which might be too much to understand for the 9-year-olds playing this in Bowser. It's that selfishness and roughness that actually adds charm to this game. There's an ironic dimensionality in this flat world that hasn't existed in the Mario universe yet. For all of Zest's verbal abuse, Flavio's self-aggrandizing, Goldbob's focus on making sure his family is perceived as rich as possible at any given moment, it's hard to define these characters by just their insensitive traits given how filled with life they are and their surprisingly generous sides to them. Zesty will always verbally assault you, like as soon as you enter the door, but will always cook you up something useful when you want to. Flavio eventually turns down the promise of riches for the safety of his crew and becomes content with the net loss of money because of the adventure itself. And he's funny. Even the chess curse guys, kinda chill. That broken toad family in West Rogueport eventually finds a way to connect. All of the crooks and whatnot are really just people trying to fight on, trying to find a living when they just can't get fair chances. All these people are just living. This game's setting isn't as expansive as many other adventure RPGs, but still feels incredibly rich due to the way they present its inhabitants. Replaying the game and holding myself to doing all the Trouble Center quests and talking to every NPC and tattling with the Goombella on all of them made me really appreciate how well characterized this world is, how vibrant it is, how filled with life. You meet so many freaks and weirdos like the guy in Twilight Town that hypes himself so much into becoming a pig as a coping strategy that he becomes devastated when the curse stops. The gossip spreading crows are... I love them. I want to chat with them. Furthermore, you catch different glimpses of the characters throughout the hilariously written Bowser intermissions, who is probably, the symbol of selfishness given how much he just wants to be in the narrative. I hang on to every word because the characters speak in these lively, eccentric ways and sometimes say something batshit crazy. More than any Mario game, the world of the Thousand-Year Door has crumples within it, but it is a delight to take in all of those untidy creases and folds. I think why the Peach intermissions stick out to so many people is the complete contrast it is. Tech is a computer whose zeros and ones are inputted to output evil, but is gradually changed because of the discovery of love, a pure love that is the lightest of emotions that turns them into a selfless consciousness. You can practically feel the tenderness when an intermission comes to a close and he says, "Good night, Princess Peach." Sometime in the game you find out the treasure that you've been seeking is actually a demon. It's kind of a bummer. The promise of an ancient curious treasure is actually just some demon called the Shadow Queen, who's pretty much what she sounds like, a symbol of darkness, an abstraction of the darkness that hangs over them in Rogueport. But in the darkest hour, her power is weakened by the light buried within those same inhabitants of the grungy world of Rogueport. People who want to live, rejecting that darkness. All these people have their self-absorbed eccentricities, but it's what makes them feel lifelike. These paper cutouts feel like they have as much life as the ones who crafted them. Princess Peach, the purest soul in the game, this game's symbol of light, says it herself. It really is a vibrant town full of a love for life, isn't it? As the sunrise beams down on Rogueport, shining a brilliant golden light, like a vast, sparkling trove of treasure.